science has now validated GLaDOS' decision to hate you forever. In Portal 2, GLaDOS says this.
I discovered I have a sort of black box quick save feature. In the event of a catastrophic failure, the last 2 minutes of my life are preserved for analysis. I was able, well, forced really, to relive you killing me again and again, forever.
Which made me wonder, how many times did she relive her death? By the way she's acting, I'd assume at least a couple hundred times. Right? Well, first we need to bring in some numbers. We have the 2 minutes, the amount of time she relives, but we need to compare that to a period of time. Now, pinning down the period of time between Portal 1 and 2 is a little tricky, since we have no canonical period. However, cut voice lines can trim it down to about 50 to 50,000 years. Not really very useful, but it's all we have to go off of. So, for the sake of the argument, we'll take both boundary numbers and do the same math to both. First, the 50. 50 times by 365.25 equals 18,262.5 days. To convert this into minutes, we just times it by 24 and then by 60. The final number comes down to 26,298,000. So now that we have found the amount of minutes in 50 years, we can now divide it by the time it takes per reliving. So in this case, 2, and GLaDOS experienced her death 13,149,000 times. And this is the lowest possible amount. To get the 50,000 estimate, all you have to do is times the final number by 1,000, and we get 13,149,000,000 times. That's more times than one time for every person on Earth. This is not to mention that GLaDOS can feel pain. Look at the scene where Wheatley rips her head off of her body, and also the euphoric response that she feels when completing tests. Assuming that this is stimulated pain and not just an electric shock, this means that she also had to feel the pain of you burning her alive, firing literal rockets at her, and blowing her up over 13 billion times. No wonder she's so pissed in Portal 2. And one final note about this is that she doesn't just straight up kill Chell. No. Instead, she makes Chell test until she dies, which, given all of this context, seems like a much more understandable punishment than just killing her outright. She wanted Chell to suffer for as long as possible, just like she did. And that's why